4. And yeah, we're just gonna go into it. So, my sister's going to join us.
Yeah.
As y'all know, she's our technical person, so she does, when the producer is not here, she handles the board.
Yeah.
She does the lighting.
Yeah.
Right now, she's handling. She's
Yeah.
getting our feeds all set up all over the place, and now she's going to join me. You ready to join me?
Yeah. Let me take my earbuds out.
Here's my beautiful sister, y'all.
That's my beautiful sister, y'all.
So,
Oh.
there we go. Okay. Narcissist and narcissism.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So really my phone decides, okay, y'all have to forgive me because normally I have my phone on absolute mute. So I'm not even sure. And most people don't. Hey, hey, Bender. He says y'all pretty.
Aw. He knows beauty.
Yes, he does.
He knows
Yes,
beauty.
he does. Yes, he does.
There's a certain little someone that has his eye, and he knows beauty. She's so pretty.
She is. Is she gonna join us? Is Nandi gonna join us? Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Can you hear me? Okay. Maybe he didn't realize I'm talking to him. So, you want to jump into this? Did you make a copy too?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did.
So, the very first section that I did. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a couple of intros, and then we're just really going to jump right into it. Narcissistic personality. Yeah, there she is. Hi.
There's the pretty one.
She is. Thanks for miles. Anyway, woohoo. Narcissistic personality disorder is named for Narcissus from Greek mythology, who fell in love with his own reflection. Freud uses the term to describe persons who were self-absorbed, who are, and psychoanalysts have focused on the narcissist's need to bolster his or her self-esteem through grandiose fantasy, exaggerated ambition, exhibitionism. Okay, I'm just saying that's one of my personal favorites. I don't care. And feelings of entitlement.
So in other words, the whole Generation X they're all
A bunch of
narcissists.
narcissistic. Okay, so one of the quotes I'm going to read is from actually Anne Rice, which is one of my favorite authors. Like growing up, she's one of my favorite authors.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just, and it's a I can't remember which book it's from. I think it may be from Telos. I'm not sure. But it says, "I am in love with you," I responded. He laughed a most beguiling and gentle laugh. "Of course you are," he replied. "I understand perfectly because I'm in love with myself. The fact that I'm not transfixed in front of the nearest mirror takes a great deal of self-control." Then it was my turn to laugh. That's that caption from Anne Rice. So I'm going to just jump right in because this says there are 7 types of, we're going to talk about, actually I have a total of 10, but we're going to talk about 7 in particular. So we're going to start with this one. Often those who might be diagnosed with NPD, the acronym for Narcissistic Personality Disorder, but they aren't because they don't believe anything's wrong with them, are the worst. And many times we see some predictable patterns among them. With that being said, there are a number of ways that these behaviors and toxic patterns can manifest themselves in people. So while it might seem pretty logical to assume that narcissists are all alike since their behaviors seem so similar, they can sometimes slip by even the most trained eye. And that's because there are various personality types within the so-called spectrum of toxic narcissism. And so we're going to define 7, well, like I said, I actually have 10. But just like the rest of humanity, no two narcissists are exactly alike. And yours may encompass one or more of these qualities. So let's do this.
How do you do that there?
So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the type of narcissist. And I'm going to give you some coping techniques, tips and techniques. That's what we're going to go with. The know-it-all. While the know-it-all narcissist might really know a lot, she's also very pushy with her opinion, which she's all too happy to shell out, no matter if she's been asked for it or not. This narcissist will lecture you all day long. And as long as you don't expect to actually have a two-way conversation, everything will be fine. But don't expect her to listen to you. Because though she might be quiet while you talk, she's just thinking about what she's going to say next. So how to deal? She says fun. Politely acknowledge her advice, thank her, and then go ahead and do whatever you feel is best. Don't take anything too seriously, and don't let yourself feel offended by her uppity behavior. Yes, she does think she's better than you, but in reality, you should probably feel sorry for her. But don't feel so sorry for her that you fall for the okie doke, because that's okay. The daydream believer. I like to call a narcissist who has the whole grandiose thing going on a daydream believer. That's because he will almost always see himself as someone who matters more than other people. He figures he's more important somehow and expects other people to recognize that and treat him accordingly.
I don't see nothing yet.
He will always exaggerate his own accomplishments and loves to think people are envying him or admiring him. He believes that he is meant to be something big, and if these qualities are combined with a certain amount of charisma and a strong sense of ambition, he may actually succeed on some level. And you might find yourself very drawn to him. The daydream believer might bring out your sense of competition or sense of justice. Don't let yourself get caught up in it. If you do, he will just increase his desire to be better than you and his efforts to match. Don't let yourself be too affected by his charms. They will quickly drop once he's got you in his clutches. Remember that he won't do anything to help you unless there's something in it for him. And don't allow yourself to become dependent on him if you can avoid it. He's the one who will discard you like last year's pumps and without a second thought. Number 3, the seductress. The seducer or seductress is a very different kind of toxic narcissist. We're going to use the feminine form here from this point forward, but please note this can manifest in males as well. She is the kind of person who makes you feel amazing about yourself at first. She seems to admire you, to even sort of idolize you. The seductress will make you feel like you're someone important, someone special, who matters. But the dark side of this one is that her intent is to seduce you into feeling that way about her. She knows that when you love her and depend on her a little bit, you will support her. You will grow to admire her. She will use blatant admiration, physical affection, and flattery to get what she wants. But once you're no longer useful to her, she will drop you like a hot rock. Enjoy the flattery if you must, but know what it really is. Don't allow yourself to be swayed by the seductress, even if it feels really good at first. Keep your eye on how she treats people around her, such as those she might feel competitive with. You might find that watching how she treats them gives you a glimpse into your potential future. Who knows? And listen to how she talks about her exes.
Or her current.
If she swears they are all crazy, stalkers, or evil,
What's the common denominator?
there's probably something to be concerned about.
What's the common denominator?
Narcissists are great at victim playing to get what they want, especially the seductress.
Hello, Lacey Sky. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Lacey. So, the bully. You know the bully, right?
No, tell me about the bully.
He's probably the kid who beat you up after school back in 3rd grade. All grown up. I think I might have been the bully back then.
You know, what's your classmate's name? The one that tried to tell you messed with his heart or something?
Oh, no, he don't count. Hush, don't you call it here on this show. I will strangle you. But he also might look like a lot like the mean girl from high school, or the jock who gave everybody wedgies when he felt saucy. As an adult, he might look like a regular person, but needs to elevate himself by humiliating others and making them feel bad about themselves. We know a few of those, don't we?
You think?
Sure, he might also be a daydream believer or a know-it-all, but he's also something else. A big jerk. Yeah, I said it. The bully will treat people around him with disdain and contempt when he doesn't get what he wants. And he is not nice when he asserts his superiority, which, of course, is as often as possible. He needs you to feel bad about yourself because it is the only thing that helps his ridiculously low self-esteem feel less painful. But he would never admit this, even to himself. Where the seductress will use sex and her charms to get what she wants from you, the bully will push you, pressure you, and downright threaten you to get what he wants. In extreme cases, he may even threaten or actually use physical harm if you refuse to comply. He will relentlessly mock you and belittle you to the point that you might start thinking you're not even worth the oxygen you're allowed to breathe. He will do a number on your self-esteem. Side note, if you're being physically or sexually abused, you are not in the right place. So, get out. If you need help, you know how to reach us. Our network is pretty
deep.
Yeah, it's pretty deep. And being that we pretty much cover coast to coast with our connections, if you need help, say something.
North, south, east, and west.
So here's how to deal. If you're not in a position to go no contact with these people, then your next best bet is to shine this guy on. So don't do anything that would injure his ginormous ego. Don't directly challenge him. If you're going to withstand this guy's attacks, you need to be very, very strong in your sense of self-esteem. And you need to know that you don't require validation from the outside of yourself.
Right.
So if you've got to deal with a bullying narcissist on the regular, work on your poker face and practice, your gray rock technique.
Oh, you talking about the aim?
Just be careful to take care of yourself so you don't end up disassociating.
True. Now that's true.
That is very true. Yeah, I've seen that one.
Mm-hmm.
The evil one. Can I just say, I'm not calling any names, but I know some of these people. I ain't calling no names. Because some of these people I've never seen face to face. I've just watched their online interactions.
Mm-hmm.
And I've watched how they've interacted with people. And even in conversations that I've had with them. Some of these are spot on.
Really?
Anyhow, the evil one. Okay, so a bullying narcissist up to this point has been our most toxic in the list, but now we've reached the pinnacle of all narcissists, the one I'm calling the evil narcissist. And this one's the kind that you should avoid at all costs. The evil narcissist is a whole other kind of animal. While she, I like how they make this one a she. While she may have qualities of all the other kinds of narcissists listed above, especially the bullying narcissist, the evil one will literally attempt to destroy you if you somehow pose a threat to her.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you made her feel like you were challenging her superiority somehow. Or that you're succeeding in some way she isn't. Or she's just threatened by you for some reason or another. Even if you're never made aware of her feelings, she may proceed to methodically and intentionally try to ruin your life. She'll spread lies about you to everyone you know, and she may even attempt to cause trouble for you at work. If you've been married to her and have kids together, she'll do anything she can to turn them against you and keep them from you. Or she'll walk away without a second thought. If you can, get away as quickly as possible. The evil narcissist isn't capable of any sort of healthy relationship, and the longer you stick around, the higher your chances of having your life completely ruined. A scary thing about the evil narcissist is that she's often a better actor than the rest. So many people in her life will have no idea who she really is.
The representative, the public representative versus the real person.
You know I don't believe in the public representative. At least when it comes to who she is behind closed doors. And this can even include family members who might also be used as flying monkeys. So beware. Don't nobody bring me no bad news. Important to know. In the case of the evil narcissist, you can't be too careful when it comes to the legalities of it all. So keep copies of all toxic emails, texts, and other kinds of communication.
Yes.
And keep in touch with anyone who might have seen the narcissistic behavior in action.
Right.
You may need them to make a statement on your behalf if the evil one causes any legal problems in your life.
Right.
Don't be afraid to lawyer up and early if necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I keep every text, every email. Yeah, some shit I record. I ain't even gonna lie to you about it. Evil narcissist. Yes, it does, Dreaded Prince. It does explain a whole lot, but they exist. They do exist. The addict. See, these next couple ones, those are some of my favorites, because I know some of these people. The addict. The addict narcissist is exactly what he sounds like. He uses drugs, alcohol, gambling, food, sex, or whatever else he finds pleasurable to find fulfillment. This kind of narcissist will often encompass other qualities listed above, but not always. Sometimes they're just openly selfish. And other times they'll willingly steal from, trick, or otherwise scam people who love them so they can get their drug of choice. This is a dangerous narcissist because the addict often deals with dangerous people. And because he doesn't care if you get your rent paid or feed your kid, he'll steal your last dollar if it means getting a fix of whatever makes him feel good. A lot of codependent issues arise when an addict narcissist is involved. Watch your back. Don't even give the addict the illusion of trust. If you can, go non-contact. And fast. There's almost no fixing the addict unless he manages to actually work on recovery and get some serious therapy. If you're co-parenting with an addict, keep records and document everything. Everything. And get some counseling and legal representation while you're at it. Protect yourself and your kids. This next narcissist is my favorite. The victim narcissist is also called the covert narcissist.
Why?
He is a master manipulator. And see, they're laughing. He is a master manipulator, but he differs from other narcissists because he seems to almost be an introvert. Almost. Sadly, for a poor me kind of narcissist, it all comes down to one thing. He actually hates himself. Which is, the flip, the reverse. He thinks it is going to be possible to hate himself better somehow. If I hate myself enough, I'll make myself better.
Honestly, I feel in a situation like that, it is more along the lines of, I'm going to put up a facade of hating myself to make you feel sorry for me enough to give me the attention that I need so that I can turn around and flip your authentic caring for me into, something that it totally and completely isn't.
I like that one. Okay. So, though he continues to demonstrate the behavior that he loathes, the covert narcissist is powerless to control his thoughts, and his deep inner conscience is not okay with the person he is or has become. He judges himself more harshly than he judges anyone else, and usually more harshly than he judges anyone else. But he certainly has what he considers a high standard for his life. Attention-seeking MF. Man, what she said. Pretty sure that's one of my cousins, I think. But what she said. He quietly sticks to this unreasonable standard to the best of his abilities, happily to secretly look down his nose at the people he deems lesser than he. As with any narcissist, watch it back and go no contact if possible. If not, be prepared to ignore the quietly judgmental gaze and superiorist attitude directed your way. And then just keep doing what you do. If you don't feel his narcissistic supply, if you don't feed the narcissistic supply, like the rest, he may just get bored and move on. But I'm not done, because as I said, I have a few more. The narcissist puppet master. These narcissists can absolutely not cope when things do not go as they'd like. To compensate for this, they find ways to manipulate everyone around them. The puppet master narcissist has learned to control others through several different tactics and is skilled at finding an individual's weak point. They have no concept of integrity or empathy. A narcissist puppet master will lie, cheat, seduce, and withhold affection from loved ones to get what they want. They are not above playing friends and lovers against one another or using innocent people as pawns. This type of narcissist will seek out your insecurities and vulnerabilities and exploit them without even a trace of remorse. The narcissistic antagonist. This type of narcissist always seems to have an enemy. They scream at others. She's social bullies. The leech stealing other people's happiness. Yes, honey, yes. They scream at others. They scream at other drivers, berate wait staff at restaurants, and leave nasty notes for neighbors who play their music too loud. This expression of their self-righteous indignation helps them to feel superior and in control. Unfortunately, it also keeps them from maintaining healthy relationships. They likely have few, if any, friends at work and may even have lost jobs due to office disputes. Their personal lives are in constant turmoil. If they are in a relationship, their partner is likely a very submissive personality with low self-esteem. The narcissistic antagonist may be estranged from one or more family members, often with no hope of reconciliation.
It's unfortunate but true.
Yes. The status narcissist. This type of narcissist's self-worth is only if it can be proven in a concrete way and validated by others. I think that seems to be like a whole, like...
They need validation.
Yeah, they need outside validation.
Without the attention and without the individuals to give them that attention, then they really have nothing. That's why a lot of times you will, when people go to therapy and, like family counseling, they will tell you basically to stop enabling them. Like act in the total opposite way that you normally do. Don't give them the attention. Like if you're the type of person that would normally engage them,
right,
when they are going through whatever it is that to pull you, then
she says they have imaginary and enemies.
And that's the truth.
90 says, I almost married one, baby. You,
Ooh, bless you. Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad she escaped that before she actually got caught up in that legally, because it's easier to get rid of one when you're not legally entangled.
Yes. Those people are the worst because they need to be validated way too often. Okay, now I am going to say this. My thing with a narcissist generally are those people who absolutely positively have to have your attention 24/7. If the attention is not on them, if they do not have your attention, if they do not have somebody's attention, if nobody is paying them attention, they're gonna act a bleeping fool. We have some new people on here. I'm gonna censor myself tonight, just for the night, just because y'all are new. They're gonna act a bleeping fool. Those, and as they talked about, somebody called them a leech. The leech, it was 90. No, Mindbender said the leech, stealing other people's happiness. Yes, absolutely.
There are, now the one that you're talking about now, it's like, it says some people will push you off of a ledge just to catch you, just to say they saved your life.
Motherfucker, you don't want to push me off. Damn. I'm sorry. I was having a moment. Let me move these papers.
But it's, it's one of those deals where when you constantly give a person a chance, it's almost like, when you're playing Russian roulette with, a person, and they're the one holding the gun. They shoot the first time, it doesn't have a bullet, but then you allow them the opportunity to shoot again and again and again until they finally get to the chamber with the bullet. When you constantly see, the only issue I have when you are talking about narcissists and narcissism are the people that are affected. I could give two flying about the person, unless they are truly mentally unstable, because mental instability can bring about certain actions and things of that nature. But if you are just a butt crack because you want the friggin' attention to be on you, or things aren't going the way you thought they would, or you hoped they would, or like you wanted them to go, so you decide to make every friggin' body, miserable because you misjudged what you thought things were gonna be, then two tears in a bucket. Screw you, your feelings, and how you operate. But when it comes down to the people that are being affected by you acting like a butt crack, that's where I have a problem, especially if you have children involved. If you have children involved in situations where you have an adult that's acting more juvenile than a juvenile, then it's time for either one of two things to happen. Somebody needs to have them committed to get the psychological help they need, or they need a good foot in their ass to help them get some rattling going on the inside, to get some clarification of how they're acting. That's just D'ology 101.
Class is in session.
Don't mess with the babies.
No.
Don't let your foolishness
affect
the children.
That's something that I have an issue with, because in talking about all these different narcissists, one of the things that it talks about, again, because these are people who seek attention, even if it's negative attention, because these people seek attention, they are not mindful. They don't give about how those around them perceive them. They don't see they're children. The children. Because to me, I'm sitting up here, it's like, okay, do you not see that everything in this world does not revolve around you? Do you not understand you are a very, very self-absorbed individual? Do you not see how that affects your children?
It's one thing for a man to do it, but for a woman that had a child to crack her ass, to act like that, I don't have much sympathy. I don't have much compassion.
Right.
Because if you are so friggin' self-absorbed in yourself until it matters not how your actions affect the children that you birthed, you may not even be the birth parent. You may just be someone that is caring for a child.
Mm-hmm.
Do you not friggin' realize you are teaching these young people, these growing adults, how to deal with life situations? Having a friggin' temper tantrum at 40-something years old is not the way you teach a growing adult how to handle things. Get your overgrown thumb sucking somewhere and sit down. Okay, now that I've gotten that out.
Who's sissy? Who's Think of butterflies and little fuzzy bunnies.
The fur from the bunnies make me sneeze,
Okay.
but the butterflies are pretty, so I'll think about
Lips
butterflies.
change flockers? I don't know.
Yeah,
Think of something different.
yeah.
My bad. Y'all didn't hear that. Okay, so the status narcissist. I see you. You relate.
Come right on in.
Come on in. You don't. They already seen you there. You might as well come on in. They done already seen you.
That's our super awesome
They done seen you.
producer.
I didn't even get my swan today. They done seen you. Come on in here.
You didn't get your swing.
I did not get my swan today.
What is that?
What you mean? What is that?
What
Our
is a
jingle.
swing?
Song.
I told you to call
I
me.
know, that was my fault.
You said call me. I could have walked
I
you through
know.
it. That's okay. We don't need you for the train.
Thank you.
Okay, so the status narcissist. To this type of narcissist, self-worth is only real if it can be proven in a concrete and validated by others. In a concrete way and validated by others. They have little to no internal sense of self. Instead, they put all of their energy into accumulating money, power, and social status. They use these things to give themselves a value, and they assign value to others by the same measure. This type of narcissist knows how much you paid for your house and whether or not you hired the right interior decorator. They are the president of the PTA and their local homeowners association. A status narcissist is often very smart and accomplished. Unfortunately, this is where the depth of their personality comes to an end. Surface. Very surface.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't very going deeper than that.
They say some
Surface.
people wonder if narcissists, sociopaths, and psychopaths don't know they're toxic and are hurting people.
They don't.
They know.
They don't.
They
Narcissists?
I don't think they know.
You haven't been listening to our show.
How can they continue in their behaviors? They believe all their actions are valid, so guilt is never an issue. They convince themselves that the pain caused is necessary. Example, what we think is what we feel. A toxic person thinks they are a victim, so they feel like a victim. They think they are superior, so they feel superior. They think they are entitled, so they feel entitled. Toxic people know what they do.
Really?
They just think and feel they are correct and are justified in harming others, but they know what they're doing.
Okay.
I am entitled. That is my favorite word.
I just thought.
Entitled.
I
Okay.
thought so.
Okay, well, have you heard of toxic amnesia?
No.
It is a term that describes how the narcissist pretends not to remember hurtful behavior, verbal abuse, and betrayals they've engaged in. It's a part of their gaslighting campaign and designed to make you feel like you're overreacting or mentally unstable, creating doubt in your mind, thereby enhancing your symptoms of cognitive dissonance.
So, I mean, I'm sorry I was late and I didn't hear everything that was going on, but
Here, here's a recap.
is this, so is it strictly a behavioral thing or is it a sickness?
Yeah.
It depends. Honestly, in Dee's opinion, and actually sometimes even professionally, it depends, because there are times people will feed the bullcorn like that. It becomes habitual. And then when you are a narcissist, especially one that is a compulsive liar, it's hard for you to peel your onion back and deal with the bullcorn and all the lies and the things that you put out there.
So, and you may have talked about this too.
Yes, sir.
Do you feel is number 45 sick or just behaviorally just jacked up? Or is, I think he's really just sick. I think
he is a combination of some of all the different types of narcissists that we've talked about, except for the one, where's the one that I talked about, they hate themselves? I don't think he hates himself. I think he has a very over evaluated sense of self, you know what I mean? Overinflated. Like, he's just like, and he's a true narcissist. But, he feels like, I am the greatest thing to happen to this country.
Well, he's the type that responds like this with reactive abuse. They call you abusive for reacting to their abuse. It's like one strategy that abusive people employ in psychologically abusing and manipulating their victim is to claim the victim is being abusive towards them. There is a certain point at which the victim might break and lash out at the abuser. If you're not unstable and you have a person constantly coming for you, you're only going to let that person come for you for so long before you look at this thing, clap back.
Now see, I tend to, because of Warriors Code, I tend to take a lot. Even before Warriors Code, I take a lot. I took a lot. One of the things I will say that, being back to practicing has taught me is that, you take everything with patience and tolerance. So I think there's some things I tolerate and I have put up with far longer than I probably would have previously. However, I'm gonna take it for so long, and then I'm gonna cut you off, because I'm one of those no contact people. I'm not gonna ghost on you, because you're gonna see me.
And that's what I was
You will see me, because I don't hide. You gonna see me. You gonna go to the club, you gonna go to the store, you gonna go to some community event, I'm gonna be sitting right there. Hey boo, how you doing? But keep it moving, because we ain't already had no damn conversation, keep it moving. However, if you push me past that point where even my silence is not enough, I don't click too often. But damn it when I do. People be like, oh, I don't bite, you can come over here, I don't bite. Damn it, I bite. And when I talk about, when I'm in a mood, I'll be like, you know what, the whole little halo thing, the halo, it sits on top of my horns. When I talk about I am in a mood, I will be like, I have claws and fangs, come for me if you want to. Very serious about that. I have some narcissists in my life. As you know. I think we all do. We all have narcissists.
I'm about to say everybody has
We all
some
have some
around
in
them
our
in
life.
some capacity.
In different levels and different, and so, you just kind of, how you choose to deal with them, it varies on an individual basis.
And see, it's kind of funny that you said something about being a no contact, because that's what I had on my screen. It says if you ever go no contact with your narcissist, watch out for flying monkeys. To maintain their illusion of power over you, and notice the word illusion
Yes.
of power
Yes.
over you, the narcissist will employ the use of third parties through which they will attempt to control and manipulate you.
at this point in life. Don't come for me unless you were sent.
Well, and I'm
Flying monkeys, snakes, underground moles, what the hell ever. Don't come for me unless you were sent. Unless I send for you, don't come for me. Because I've dealt with the narcissist. At this point in time, I've pretty much had my fill of narcissists. Like,
like for real.
the past, about 3 years have been filled with a bunch of narcissistic people where I'm having to be like, where you come from? Is there a factory breeding y'all? What the?
Am I a narcissist magnet or something?
Yeah, I must be.
But you know, the fact that you have a heart for people. And a lot of times narcissists need and yearn for that attention, that help. It may not be valid, but they initially come when they come towards you and in your direction with the pretense of all is well, but then
Or I need help.
I need help.
Because one of the things that it says is that empaths are drawn to, like a moth to a damn flame, and narcissists are drawn to empaths, like a moth to a flame.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you are someone that has dealt with narcissists and narcissism, because I also want to delve into narcissists on the job. I want to hit that real quick. But it says, when survivors of psychological abuse truly begin to value the time they have in each day, their energy levels, emotional stability, financial security, and/or physical health, the trauma bonding that occurs in toxic relationships begin to unravel. Once a survivor, because it truly is a battle,
It is.
once a survivor learns to value themselves, no amount of hovering, sucking them back into the dysfunction by an abuser will work. Recovery from psychological abuse is a process and has many stages to the journey. Valuing oneself over the demands of an abuser is a vital stage in recovery. Especially, and I'm going to pause right there, if you care about that person on a personal level, it's even more difficult to sever that tie.
It is.
Because you have that emotional attachment that is authentic on your part.
Yes.
So it says it takes time to get to that point, so survivors should not feel compelled to rush the process, but know that better days are ahead. And I think that's very, very important when you're talking about narcissism. And there are people who are involved in a relationship with narcissists that, like I said, love the person and they have desire to fix the relationship.
Right.
And it says, being on the receiving end of narcissistic love can make us feel like we need to try harder.
Mm.
Yet at the same time, it can make us feel that no matter how hard we try, we can't really get through to or connect to the other person, which is true. We can come to believe that somehow it is up to us to, quote unquote, fix the relationship. For someone who has blocked their heart to the point where they cannot connect to themselves, superficial functional connections are all that is possible. It takes two to have a healthy relationship. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't think about, like I did a post a while back, but it was like talking about down, heal, thy. If you heal yourself, you're more likely to have a healthy relationship. It says narcissists don't want love, they want attention. If they can't get positive attention, they will take negative attention. If they can't have your admiration, they will accept your rage. But they must provoke a response from you. That is their goal, to provoke a response, any response. It solidifies in their minds their power over you, that they are calling the shots, that you are weak or gullible or easily manipulated or vulnerable, or whatever they may have labeled you in their mind. That means you are less than them. So when you start talking about things of that nature, it's like you have to be really, really, really careful. But like I said, I want to hit where we're dealing with narcissists in the workplace. It says, it's not easy being superior to everyone I know. And that is a quote from an anonymous narcissist. It says, the Mayo Clinic research defines NPD as a mental disorder, like my sister said, for those of you that came in late, in which people have an inflated sense of their own importance and a deep need for admiration. Those within NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, believe that they're superior to others and have little regard for other people's feelings, but behind this mask of ultra confidence lies a fragile self-esteem, vulnerable fragile self-esteem, vulnerable to the slightest criticism. It says, at the workplace, pathologically narcissistic co-workers can be annoying and frustrating at best, and a serious threat to your career at worst. It says, here are 10 signs that your colleague may be a narcissist.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Hold that thought. Mind bender. Here, I'm gonna unbox this thing.
Is it already on speaker?
Oh.
Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, how you doing? It's mine, Bender. How's everybody?
Hello,
Good.
Mr. Bender.
All right, peace. I've been loving the show. I wanted to hit on the, topic of the actual person that's been affected by narcissism.
Yes, sir.
The damage that they cause is a term called emotional hostage. And that right there is the key to, the abuse being effective. It's the tactic that takes, and, just to let them know, you have folks that are sociopaths that are addicted to just other people just feeling like crap, but what I tell those that are in situations where they deal with narcissistic people, the first thing that they need to do to get over because that's where the amends come in. And the amends after the fearless and moral inventory isn't for anyone else but yourself. So I'm just telling the victims that it's not for anyone else but yourself, because there's going to be people that you want to go to and, you know, apologize and things of that nature, or, you know, feel as though you did wrong, that's not going to accept, you know, your behaviors. And this is this is also for the narcissist that has done wrong and wanted to change. A lot of people aren't going to accept it, but you have to make these amends for yourself and be honest, saying that I want to change. I'm not the person I used to be. For the victim, I put up with things that I know that I shouldn't have, and I apologize to myself for treating myself that way. And from that point on, like they said, the breakthroughs start happening where, you know, those the codependency, the thinking less of self to get to this healing, you know, support starts taking effect. And, you know, people will tell you, we'll love you so you love yourself. You know, so I just wanted to hit on that real quick, you know, while it was on my mind.
We appreciate it. We definitely appreciate it, and you are exactly right. It kind of goes back to last week when I said about getting the pen and paper and doing the brain dump.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Getting the pen and paper and doing the brain dump.
yeah,
Absolutely.
You know, doing the
it's
brain
so
dump.
effective.
It is. It truly, truly is. You don't realize just how much you have in there until you start letting it come out.
right.
And
And it takes courage.
it does, because to see oneself is the hardest thing in the world to do.
It is.
To truly see oneself, because there are no excuses that you can make. There's no justification. You know you.
Yeah. So, you know, I just wanted to hit on that. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for calling. We appreciate you and all that you're doing for this thing called life and for your support. That you're doing for this thing called life and for your support. Peace and blessings to you.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. But yeah, I mean, he was spot on.
Right.
And so some of the things that you know, in that he was talking about, the people need to kind of listen to the if you listen to some of the things I'm about to say about narcissists at work, it's kind of comical, but because we all know these people.
Yeah.
It says, 1, the conversation hoarder and interpreter. That's enough of me talking about myself. Let's hear you talk about me. It says, most narcissists are highly conceited and enjoy talking about his or her projects, accomplishments, or personal life incessantly, as if what they do is the most interesting thing in the world. They show little interest and empathy in you. When you do talk about you, your own opinions and endeavors, the narcissist may quickly change the focus back to himself. Many narcissists enjoy hearing themselves speak. Okay, this one tickles me. The status and name dropper. In addition to taking over conversations, some narcissists have the habit of name and status dropping. They like to remind people of the important degree they possess, prestigious school they went to, exclusive groups they are.
And we see the manipulation. We see the patterns of destructive behavior. And you can't even say self-destructive, because, you know, there was one of the narcissists, you know, they talk about, oh, they really hate themselves and this and that and the other. But yeah, no, so you don't really see those kind of narcissists too often. You see the kind that are on the offense. Those are the ones that you see. You see the ones that are on the offense. You see the ones that are, you are beneath me, or you need to pay me, you need to give me your full attention.
Mm-hmm.
how dare you function outside of me?
Mhm.
Period. How dare you function outside of me?
Well, that's kind of what this next one about, well, the next couple, when you deal with
Worship
people
me.
at work.
Exactly. Yes, 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 yes.
That's what it kind
Can
of
we get 9D? I love how she put that. Now I will say, because I'm going to spin this just a little bit differently, and I'm probably about to get into, well, folks could try to put me in trouble, but come for me if you want to.
I don't advise that.
Yeah. I know that within certain lifestyles that there are certain people, and there are certain people who find themselves, in positions of authority. There are certain people who have decided that they are the end all and be all. That's all well and good. But there are those people, and it becomes abusive when it gets to a point of worship me.
Right.
When you get to the point of worship me, there's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes far beyond any form of dynamic you may have tried to create, any form of role play, any form of relationship. When they get to a worship me stage, you have got a major effing issue.
Mm-hmm.
When it gets to the worship me stage, if you are that person that is on the receiving end of that, or is on the end of, I am to be worshipped by you, you need to get the hell on. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Into who? Back to what you were saying, dear sister.
No, that was a nice interjection. But it's not just necessarily like that. There are, even in the vanilla world, there are relationships like that. There are marriages like that. There
Yes.
are, and it's not always, and it could go in either direction, where, the female could be the more dominant one and she expects him to bow down, or vice versa. And it's not, and it said once it moves beyond a certain, and it doesn't always have to have a label.
No.
It's oftentimes more just the way that they act and that they put themselves out there. But, it is, that's gonna be dealt with, soon enough.
Okay.
Stay
So,
tuned to January. All of that's gonna be dealt with head on, boy.
boy, when some of these revelations and bombs and alliances and
Well, one of our
announcements.
first shows in next year is going to really be eye-opening on that particular topic. But anyway, I digress.
Okay, wait, I need to read Nandi's comments.
Okay.
So she was the one who said worship me. She also says that, hey, representatives sometimes save lives. You may meet the representative because the true self dares, she says dates, but she changed it to dares there, dares not to step where they can't have control. And you know what? I think that that's absolutely positively true, because I recently, of course, as you meet people, you do meet their representatives. I met someone and I met their representative. And in meeting their representative, had their true self showed up, it would have been the quickest meeting in the face of history. Or it would have been a violent altercation, because y'all know I have issues, and y'all know my brain don't always function as it should. And I have moments and just black out. And that's okay. Another story. Anyway, so I'm just saying, as she said, sometimes the representative saves lives. And I hate to agree with her, Because, I'm one of those people, I don't want to be your representative. Like, I may want to know up front that you're a complete asshole that I can't deal with. However,
Well,
your complete asshole may end up getting your ass drugged. So,
well, see, I think what she's saying is there are times where even though you may be fully and totally and completely enraged, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you may be enraged, but there are times where you have to maintain that professional side of yourself. You have to maintain a level of professionalism. You know, you do.
me,
No, yeah, you. Yes, because there are times I'm sure at work you want to, snatch and grab and drag people down the stairwell, or kick them down the stairwell instead of letting them go down the elevator. But, there are times where I'm sure, like I said, she can tell me if I'm wrong, but there are times that even I have to put a button on it. I don't always want to, and so what I do is I either tear your ear or my husband's ear off and then get it out, and then when I have to deal with the person that I want to snatch and grab, then I just I deal
Right.
with them in a more civil manner.
best friend is still mad at me. Our special co-host, he says, "Good to see you, the lovely D." He's still mad at me.
Hi, Tiger. It's good to see you as well, sir. But back to the people at work.
She says, "I work in the kitchen. I don't need a button." I know. Nah, she had it. I get representatives because they know who to send for and who to walk by. Abso-freaking-lutely. And I think because probably of my demeanor, and I have RBF. I admit that. I don't care. I have RBF. And so
Resting,
bitch face.
relaxed face.
Resting bitch face. So when people come, a lot of times when people approach me, they're sitting up here and they're just like, I'm not going to talk to her, or I'm going to put up a,
They have a preconceived
they have a
notion.
preconceived of who I am. So instead of, trying to just come at me as they are and for who they are, they try to come at me all, sugary, sweet, and syrupy, and then I'm just sitting up here looking at them going,
Can you get out of my face, please?
because if y'all couldn't tell, like I said, there's a reason I keep sliding to the side and off camera, is because I don't have, she said, what about burn and drag? Yes. I don't really have a representative. And we're gonna leave it at that. I don't have a representative.
But she has a more professional side when she
I
has to use
do.
it.
I do have a professional side. It is professional, but it is still not, I'm still not fake with it.
No.
Never at any point. He said, I just hug you harder when I see you.
So when you're dealing with the crazy people at work, you have those that break the rules and the social norms. It said many narcissists believe that they're entitled and special and thus beyond precept. They are prone to taking shortcuts and taking large or small advantages of people and the system. And this can range from stealing office supplies and falsifying reports to concocting, say that real fast 15 times, unethical business schemes and committing egregious white-collar crimes.
Embezzlement.
Right, that's a nice way to put that. Many narcissists think that they are above the law and should be the exception to the rule. Can anybody say number 45? Okay, number 7. Sensitive to criticism, blame others for failings. Classic to the character style of pathological narcissist is highly averse to criticism. Negative feedback, even when reasonable and justified, threatens the narcissist's fragile sense of an idealized self and risks triggering his or her narcissistic injury.
That's definitely 45.
Common responses, that's why I wanted to go through these. Common responses to criticism include anger, pretend indifference, and excuses. In addition, many narcissists are highly adept at blaming others for their shortcomings. It's always someone's fault. Passive aggressive tendencies. Now, these grind my nerves. Narcissistic passive aggressive traits at the workplace may include negative gossip, sarcasm, veiled hostile joking, often followed by just kidding, professional and social exclusion, backstabbing, two-faced, procrastination, stonewalling, forgetting, denying personal responsibility, victimhood, and deliberate weakness to elicit sympathy and favor. These passive-aggressive behaviors are often intended to prop oneself up, put others down, and get away with as much as possible. Kiss my ever-loving Superior-inferior orientation is the ninth one. Is many narcissists are unable to relate to individuals as equals. They either take an inferior position and defer to you, or a superior position and presume they're in some ways better than you. For them, both the superior and inferior postures are calculated to sway you to give them what they want, such as is the purpose of relationships to them. They lack the empathy and humanity to treat people simply as equitable human beings.
So Zenzel, I don't remember how to say her name, just Zen, I know that. She says, narcissist. Worked for one who was a licensed psychologist, PhD. He made everyone want to commit suicide. And Zen also said, baby, deserve a good dragging. Okay, Tiger says, you know my favorite word is application. What do I do with this information? You arm yourself. You arm yourself. You make it a point to be able to see and to identify these individuals. And, you know, one in the earlier portion of the show, we talked about, you know, if you can at all go no contact with these people, then that's what you need to do. In most situations, the best thing that you can do is to go no contact, because again, the whole point is, look at me. It's all about me. Honor me, worship me, pay me attention. I'm better than you, so I should be your entire focus. She says Zen's is cool. She says, I despise a dry snitch. I know that's right.
And it says, and the last one, which is the one that most of us can relate to, negative and toxic emotions. Many narcissists enjoy spreading and arousing negative emotions to gain attention, feel powerful, and keep you insecure and off balance. They are easily upset at any real or perceived slights or inattentiveness. They may throw a tantrum if you agree with their views or fail to meet their expectations. It's not my responsibility to even worry about how you feel or what your expectations are. But anywho, I digress. Narcissists are often quick to judge, criticize, and ridicule, and some are emotionally abusive. By making you feel inferior, they boost their fragile ego and feel better about themselves.
Did I say some are emotionally abusive? Let me tell y'all something about a freaking narcissist. A freaking narcissist will abuse you in any manner that they can, as long as they get their end desired results. Whether it is emotional, whether it is verbal, as we talked about earlier, it can be physical. This does not have to just be in personal situations and personal relationships or dynamics. This is in
Life.
Work situations, in life. Hell, it could be your damn neighbor. It could be your boss.
And that's
it could
what
be
I
your
was going to
agency
say.
director. It can be your
Anybody. Because I was looking at it from...
VP of whatever services, you know.
Because I was looking at it from a business perspective. when, there's been so much unraveling of with all of these sexual harassment claims
Right,
and all
me
of this,
too.
that, yeah. And when you look at things from that perspective, when you look at how, even with number 45, how the wall that he's built around him, or thought he had built around him, is unraveling, and how
Quickly.
everything is now finally, he thought coming in he was going to be able to do those sidebar business dealings, when it comes down to running this country, and those sidebar business dealings that had him file for bankruptcy, only goodness knows how many times, is now about to send his butt and has already started to send others to jail. When you look at things from that perspective, with the Me Too movement, how many of these situations happened because of the fact that these people were working for narcissists? Now, don't get it twisted. There are some female narcissists in powerful positions that milk it just like some of the men do. But a lot of men are afraid to come forth because then they're looked at as being weak, or being punks, because they have chosen to not be disrespected by someone in authority.
Right.
But that's going in a different direction. But it all goes hand in hand when you look at it from that perspective. When you really and believe it or not, there are groups out there. There are resources available for people abused by narcissists. There are support groups in place for people who are
Recovering from
yeah,
narcissistic abuse.
right. Narcissistabusesupport.com. Narcissistabusesupport.com. That is an online resource that is actually available to individuals that may be dealing with actually dealing with having narcissists that they live with, deal with, are in relationships with, not necessarily always personal relationships, but that you deal with, professionally, and the sad part is when you have narcissists that have been reared by narcissists. We talk about cycles of life, and we talk about how the cycles of people and families go through. A lot of times people are dealing with people who have dealt with or are dealing with narcissists. You may have a narcissist at your house, so when I come to work, I'm going to show you who's the boss.
Right. Because you have no control in your own home.
Right.
So you sit up there and try to seek it in others. Now, I am going to go back because we were talking about the different types of narcissists.
Mm-hmm.
There is another narcissist that I want to talk about. But one thing, a recurring theme throughout all of these different versions of a narcissist, they are great at victim playing to get what they want, the desired emotional reaction that they want,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, that I am the victim, I have been wronged, you are doing all of this to me. Remember that. The royal narcissist. This type of narcissist feels that they are entitled to the best and everything. They don't believe in earning special treatment. They feel that they deserve it simply by birthright, marriage, social standing, much like royalty does. A royal narcissist will break the rules. They will refuse to abide by societal conventions, like taking turns or waiting in line. They do not believe in compromise. They will say one thing and do another as long as it gets what they want. When faced with consequences, they will react as though they are being persecuted or treated unfairly. The royal narcissist, after all, is above all things, like speeding tickets. They will also treat others, equals, or even superiors, as inherently lesser than themselves and not deserving of the same or equal treatment. The world is their kingdom, and everyone within it is their servant. To dare to do their bidding.
Mm-hmm.
No comment. Anywho, so I think we all know some narcissists.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all know, I think we all work with. In some cases, we may even love. Although that's a whole different genre all by itself. But again, as Mindbender said, that those are what they call them emotional hostages. So, look up the definition for that, for an emotional hostage. Just like so we can give like a very clear, like,
Okay.
just definition of emotional hostage. Again, if you are in, yes, she says that part. So when you are with these people, when you encounter these people, when they are a part of your life, you have to do whatever it is that you have to do. One of the things that I'm huge on is self-care. And, I sometimes neglect my own personal self-care. And, those are the times when I really feel it, and it comes back to bite me. So when you are actively engaged in self-care, you will also become actively engaged in recognizing the signs of a narcissist. Because you're going to be like, you know what? No matter what I do, this person says, I'm always doing this. I'm always doing that. This is an issue. That is an issue. Everything I do is an issue. Everything I do is wrong. Everything, is there's a problem with every single thing that I do in life, basically, because it doesn't agree with this person and their mindset and their commentary and the way they feel things are supposed to proceed. No. But again, that goes back to checking in on the self-care. Because when you are doing the work of self-care, when you are looking at, hey, this doesn't feel right, this doesn't sound right, this isn't me, this isn't helpful, this isn't helpful, this isn't helping me. If you are in a situation where you are being harmed more so than helped, where you are being treated as an inferior as opposed to an equal, you might need to step back and really look at the person that you're having to be involved with, that you're having to interact with. My sister is tending to other business, but I will say, I personally am also involved rather heavily in
The emotional.
the life, the life, the very much so the emotional, because the emotional damage, the emotional.
What was the phrase?
Emotional hostage. So the emotional upset of being involved with a narcissist. They can do and say some things, and they will leave you sitting up there looking in the mirror going, well, what the hell?
Talk about the emotional blackmail. Wow.
Yes. Emotional blackmail. I know about this one. Can I speak on this one? I'm gonna speak on this one. Emotional blackmail. Someone who holds you hostage emotionally will hold you accountable for their feelings. Being an emotional hostage can and will take its toll on a person. Their relationships will suffer, their emotional well-being will suffer, and they can become miserable overall. You will not abuse me. Isn't that one of the memes that you had on the feed for this thing called "You will not abuse me. You will not talk to me like that. You will not treat me like that. I am not your personal slave." Narcissists have no boundaries. They feel entitled to say whatever they feel is true. Whatever their mind encompasses, whatever they feel, they are entitled to feel.
Whether it's rude.
Whether it is rude. Oh, okay. And litter their opinions, whether it is rude, hurtful, or not true at all. They will then get angry when you defend yourself and blame you for causing the drama. Did you know you caused the drama? Y'all don't even understand. We're having whole personal conversations. My apologies. Okay, so yeah,
Word. That is effective communication without something going over the
nonverbal.
airway. Yes,
and we talked about that last week. Effective communication. Yeah,
we
that would
are
be that
effectively communicating.
nonverbal.
Because some things just don't need to hit the airwaves. Because if
She said Nandi. She was just like used to be an emotional hostage to a few.
wow, bless your heart. I'm so glad you're free now, my dear.
And in a situation, in a loving and caring situation where self-care is promoted and mandatory.
Right when you started saying that, I pulled that up.
The self-cleaning process of life.
Right when you started saying it.
Okay,
Wow.
so let's find out what this is. Your life, mind, and reality are constantly going through a self-cleaning process. Feelings, people, and things that are no longer in your highest good are constantly removing themselves from your life. That which has served its highest purpose in your life will remove itself from your environment, being thoughts, feelings, or people. When you center yourself and vibrate higher, your mind will automatically and naturally do this. It will bring any negative or unhelpful thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and memories into your awareness that are no longer serving you, for you to acknowledge, heal, and then release them. What appears in your awareness today is ready to go.
When we say
Baby.
yin and yang,
Free, cared for, and dangerous. Yes, Lord. Yes, she is. Her legs is dangerous all by themselves, but you know that's you perving on
you
I'm
gonna
just
stop
letting you know.
perving on her leg, even though she is gorgeous. You know.
High vibrations save lives. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. So does good coffee and kava.
Coffee and kava are like staples in our house. Coffee and kava flow like water in our house because otherwise
People would die.
it's not gonna be so good. It's not.
No.
It's just not. It's not. She says perv away. I love her. I told you I love her. I love
She's
her. I love her. I
adorable.
love her. So I will say that in regards to the emotional abuse, suffering at the hands of a narcissist and being held hostage emotionally by a narcissist, they will tell you everything that you do. You are not paying me attention, so I'm going to scream and holler at the top of my lungs. I'm going to throw shit fits. I'm going to threaten to commit suicide. I am going to,
Narcissistic love.
I'm going to make your life a whole damn living hell because I'm a narcissist and you aren't paying me any attention. Oh, that was you.
Yeah, I put the link in.
Okay. So narcissistic love. Open up, my love. Now, beg me to let you love me. Desire me, my love. For I want you to think of nothing but me. Tell me the truth, my love, and I will tell you what I want you to believe. I always put your feelings first, my love. And if that ain't the biggest... Yes, lie. I always put your feelings first, my love. But only when it's convenient for me. I love you, baby, but not the way you love me. I'm always honest, my love. Honest just enough to make you believe me. I'm moving forward, my love. But that doesn't mean what you think it does. I have things to take care of, my love. And you are on the bottom of that list.
That's the love of a narcissist.
She says, tell me the truth, but I'll tell you, that part. I know that's right. Ooh, wee. That one was just...
That was Now, here are 14 offensive tactics of manipulators.
Go ahead.
Okay, the first one, I'm going to go from the bottom up. Projecting the blame. In other words, blaming others. Playing the servant role.
I do everything for you. It's not like you do anything for me. I do everything for you. I just want you to love me, damn it.
Which leads to playing the victim role.
I don't know why you don't love me. I didn't do nothing to you.
Selective inattention.
Huh?
Selective inattention.
What happened?
Vilifying the victim.
It's all your fault. You did this. None of this would be happening if it weren't for you. If you weren't here doing this, you are attacking and belittling and hurting me. You're the cause of this.
Covert intimidation.
I ain't even going there. I do that all the time anyway.
Rationalization.
I am entitled to feel what I feel, and you are going to hear me, damn it.
Guilt tripping.
You know I love you. I don't know why you treat me like this.
Cook for you. I
Clean for you.
I do. I get you my last. Keep it. Minimization.
That's just not important right now. We need to focus on what I was just talking about, because that what you just said, that's not important. That's not even relevant right now.
Seduction.
I know we was arguing 5 minutes ago, but hey, baby, let me give you some of this good so you'll stop being mad at me.
Diversion. Heck, the seduction and diversion kind of go hand in hand. we gonna turn around and seduce you to divert your attention back to something else, which is me.
Right.
Shaming.
You know that I love you. I don't know why you are out there. I don't know why you are doing this. I don't know. You know that makes you less of a person, less of a... What kind of human being are you that you would treat me this way?
And then what pisses me off with that part is how you try to do it in front of other people.
But see, that's part of it. Because I have to, in order to shame you, which was one of the ones you said, in order to shame you, I have to do it in front of other people. I'm going to take your name and I'm going to drag it in the mud, and I'm going to swirl it around a few times and drag it through the shit pile, because, I need people to see how bad you are. But then again, that goes back to needing that validation.
Right. Then the next one will be denial.
I ain't did nothing to you. I don't know what you upset about. I ain't done nothing to you.
And that's not what I said. The top of the one at the top of the totem pole is lying.
I ain't say that.
But you wrote it right here.
That's not what I meant though. That I didn't say that. That's you must have picked that up somewhere else. That's not what I said.
You misread. I
You
misread.
misread.
I
You
misread
misread
what you wrote.
What I wrote.
Okay.
I refuse to be subjected to your mind games and lies. I will not play a part in your constant drama. You will not manipulate me, nor will you control me. Because I'm tired of you. She said, y'all on fire tonight. Yes, yes. Hit home.
Yep. Psychopaths are bullies who do not like it when people stand up to them. They feel perfectly entitled to push boundaries, criticize, abuse, and lie. But God forbid someone call them out on this behavior. Suddenly you become enemy number one.
Mm-hmm.
In order to divert the blame, they'll immediately twist it around on you. So suddenly you're on the defense and the focus is shifted away from them. Their hypocrisy will be so unbelievable that you won't even know where to begin. They'll accuse you of doing things they're actually doing, all in an attempt to drag you into a chaotic distraction. Psychopaths are bullies, and bullies are too cowardly to fight fair battles.
Y'all don't know. My sister put some memes out here this week, and I'm gonna read a couple of them. Narcissists don't want love; they want attention. Have we not said this the entire time? Okay. If they can't get positive attention, they will take negative attention. If they can't have your admiration, I can say that word. If they can't have your admiration, they'll accept your rage. But they must provoke some response from you. That is their goal, to provoke a response. Any response. It solidifies, in their mind, their power over you, that they are calling the shots, that you are weak or gullible or easily manipulated or vulnerable, or whatever they have labeled you as in their mind. That means that you are less than them.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of my favorites. People often ask what the differences are between a narcissist, a sociopath, and a psychopath. I use these fictional examples to highlight the subtle differences. A narcissist will run over you and scold you for being in their way. They will endlessly complain about how you intentionally damaged their car. A sociopath will run you over, scold you for being in their way, and have a smirk because secretly they get entertainment out of the chaos they've created.
That's the sociopath.
That's a sociopath.
Okay.
A psychopath will go to great lengths and take
say the
calculated
name.
steps to ensure they run over you, laugh while doing it, back up to make sure the most damage is done.
I almost said a name when she said the psychopath.
A psychopathic narcissist.
That would have said it all if I had said that one name.
I know. This, of course, is exceptionally simplified, but it might help to separate out some of the confusion.
Yeah. Now, the dream versus the reality. When it comes to loving a narcissist, all we can really do is love a dream we have of them. This dream can be so strong and beautiful that it becomes something we come to superimpose on the true narcissist. Every little positive spark or something nice they said or did enforces the truth of that dream. This keeps us at a seemingly safe distance from what is really happening. The dream keeps the painful reality at bay. However, at some point, it's necessary to see the dream for what it is and recognize that it is impossible to love or be loved by the narcissist. It's not anyone's fault It's just that they have made themselves completely unavailable to unconditional love.
That's sad. Again, and one of the things it said, a narcissist, well, you will almost feel sorry for a narcissist, instead of hating them or whatever, when you start to really look at the illness as it is, you would almost feel sorry, because I have not reached that level of,
Steve is there because he came in the
Compassion
door and wanted
for
to
me.
be. He's
I'm
like, are you
not-
sure it's not a mental illness?
it is a mental illness.
See, he has a good heart.
I have a good heart. I have a good heart and a attitude. But I have a good heart. I have a good heart. It's my attitude that's jacked up. Anyway, a narcissist's weapon of choice is often verbal. Slander, lies, playing the victim, and flip tales of who was the victim and who was the abuser, gossip, rage, verbal abuse, and intentional infliction of emotional pain. It is a systemic dismantling of another person's relationships, reputation, emotional, physical, and spiritual health, life, and very soul. That is why narcissists are so often called emotional vampires.
The narcissistic relationship.
Yes.
Nothing is their fault.
Ever.
Now find the lie. If there's one. Their way or the highway.
I got car keys.
Whatever you want, they want the opposite.
Every single effing time.
They are always the victim.
Always.
You work overtime on the relationship. They don't work at all.
Mm.
Okay, help it. I'm hearing some.
They don't.
So is that So are you in agreement?
Yes.
No, I mean, I'm in agreement. I'm just thinking about,
Situation.
I know people, that, kind of like that, The ones that I know have not really, I don't think they're very harmful. I think they're innocent narcissists.
How in the heck are you gonna be an innocent narcissist? Hold up.
Because the stuff that they narcissize about, if that's a word. the stuff
I
that
love Steve.
the stuff that they narcissize about is really petty and meaningless. Like, for instance, if I have something, yours is always better. Is that a form of narcissism?
Well,
Yeah.
that's what they just
If
said.
I have a car, there's always something that's much better about your car.
Yeah.
Or even if you had the same car that I had at one point, now that you don't have that car, it's the worst car in the world.
Status.
But if you get that car again, it's the best car ever made in life.
Status narcissist.
Is that what that is? So that's still bad.
They're still a narcissist.
Oh, okay.
That person has narcissistic tendencies.
I love
Gotcha.
Steve.
Yes.
See, he always loves to see the good in people.
I want to see the good in everybody.
Yeah. It's like they will make up stories about you.
Every single effing time. Oh my God.
They are never
What?
there for you,
You
ever.
look like you were just like.
Huh?
You, you
Please
look like
continue.
you were just like. Yeah, I remember that month.
They are blind to your love, emotions, accomplishments, and needs and your pain. They are blind to your love, emotions, accomplishments, needs, and your pain.
I'm gonna need you to get your damn eyesight adjusted.
They lie, cheat, steal, and or have addictions. Hold up, y'all. What did I do?
She didn't pass all the way.
What
out.
I do? What did I do? She done all the way fell out, y'all. She has fallen all the way out, y'all. I mean, she just just went down. They are impulsive and bored easily. They play pretend, and if you don't follow their script, they throw a tantrum
Yes.
or give you the silent treatment.
Mm.
I wish.
They manipulate, control, and abuse you.
Yep. Try to.
And you will begin to look like death and feel like 100 years old.
Mm.
if you don't vacate and let that ride.
The $1 million question after a relationship with a narcissist. Why did this happen to me? It is a simple answer. You put your trust in another person and doubted they would ever hurt you. But you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. That is when we give ourselves to another, when we engage in true relationships where, we are giving it our all and where, we have the certain expectation, that is what we do. We put our trust in another person and we give them the ability, we give them the power to hurt us. We simply trust, which that's a word I don't do very well. We simply trust that person is not going to turn around and do those things to us. So you put your trust in another person and doubted they would ever hurt you. You gave it your all, invested all of your time and emotions. You were involved with a master deceiver who is nothing like you but pretends to be.
Mm-hmm.
Once they thought you discovered the truth, the rage and manipulation began. They need a thriving soul to make them feel human, so they will take and take until there's nothing left.
Yep.
Hello, Miss Williams-Pitt, Demetra.
And on that note, what I'm gonna do to close this out, I'm gonna read this last one. It says, and this is coming from the victim. It says, I'm not crying because of you. You're not worth it. I'm crying because my delusion of who you were was shattered by the truth of who you are.
Hold on, I'm because my delusion of who you were was shattered. I'm gonna need you to post it to my page.
Okay.
Okay. Was shattered by the truth of who you are.
So we really appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in today to this thing called life as we discussed narcissism and the people that it impacts and that it destroys. And I'm hoping that there was something said today that will help you see it for what it is. And hopefully if you come across a narcissist in life, you'll know what to do, how to handle it, and stay healthy. Until next time, peace and blessings. And thank you for joining us on this thing called life. Take care.
Good night, y'all.